Hey, how we doing, gang? Kawaii50 here with another Honkai Star Rail video, and I decided I wanted to start a series going over Star Rail characters, but not necessarily a direct character review thing. Since so many things in this game are so team dependent, I wanted to focus on specific teams that I enjoy running so much more than anything else. Team building is very, very fun to do in Star Rail. It's really fun to investigate different builds with a bunch of different characters, and I am really enjoying not only the teams I'm using now, but leveling up other teams in order to see their full potential. So I figured I'd go and start off this series with my most used team, the Topaz Rules team. Of course, with Topaz and Numby being the main focal point of the team. And this is the general team that I tend to run. Jing Yuan over here is basically my off DPS, since Topaz and Numby do not have that much of an AoE presence as other characters. Jing Yuan is there to pick up the slack. Now, ideally, I would want Himiko in this role, and perhaps I will do that with my 5-star ticket from the standard summon when that shows up. But as it stands right now, Jing Yuan is filling that role nicely, and is able to help out a lot when the enemies aren't necessarily weak against fire. Asa over here in the back is a must include though. Asa basically provides Topaz and Numby everything they could ever want, to the point that I would honestly recommend them over, and yes, I mean over, Ting Yun, which I know is a very, very loaded statement, but yes, I would absolutely recommend Asta over Ting Yun. She not only grants the extra fire damage she's able to do, she's not only able to break enemies to help Topaz deal additional damage, but that speed boost allowing Topaz and Numby to continually act is fantastic. And finally over here we have Luocha as well. Now Luocha is great for a nice little oh crap moment. You have allies that end up needing some healing. Luocha is able to pick up that slack, cleanse some debuffs, and allow your allies to prevent themselves from falling into certain death. There are, of course, other characters you can pair with this with. If you, for example, know the fight and you know that the enemy isn't going to be hitting you with too many debuffs, you can summon Bailu for an emergency resurrection. Now, she won't be able to debuff cleanse, which is her major failing, but she will at least be able to resurrect people on top of that. Or if you're looking for a more free-to-play option, you can go ahead and substitute in Natasha. Natasha is still an incredible healer, and I would wholeheartedly recommend her if you are not part of the Luocha Club. Let's take a look at how the team works in action. Now, as you can see here as we go through these battles, so much is focused on Topaz and Numby. Topaz and Numby are, of course, incredibly potent when working together, especially if you are solely focusing in Topaz's talent, which is the main thing you should be leveling up, because it overall increases all of Numby's damage. When this is maxed out, you're dealing 187% fire damage, equal to Topaz's attack. That's a crazy amount, and enemies afflicted by Proof of Debt have Numby's action forwarded by 50%. And the nice thing that Topaz has over Jing Yuan is that even if she is paralyzed in any way, sort of incapacitated, Numby is still able to attack. Now, if Topaz is completely defeated, Numby will vanish, but other than that, she is still able to have Numby act and deal some damage to enemies, unlike Jing Yuan, whose Lightning Lord is entirely focused on making sure he is able to act himself. So that's kind of the thing that really takes Topaz and Numby over the edge compared to Jing Yuan. My Topaz and Numby actually do have the future marketability. She is E1. You can check out my summons for that in another video on the channel. And Deader just overall increases the crit damage they take from follow-up attacks by 25%, stacking up to 2 times. So as you're looking at this gameplay and you see my Topaz and Numby's crits hitting into the tens of thousands, well, that is mainly because of that E1. And that's why I was routinely saying in that video, E1 is so much more important than getting Topaz's overall equipment card, because I'm just using swordplay. I'm just using swordplay featuring Su Shang. Just deal the same amount of damage to each of your enemies and you will be just fine. Now when it comes to my Jing, he is E0, but he does actually have all of his traces, so he is getting all of those benefits from increased critical damage from the Lightning Lord, and I am stacking as much on here from the Lightning Lord as possible. And Jing Yuan's main role is just to make sure the enemies don't overwhelm my team, while I have Topaz and Numby focus on whoever the biggest threat is or whoever's weak against fire damage. Jing Yuan is there using the Lightning Lord and using his AoE attack to completely clear out the rabble and ensure that everyone is able to continue progressing through whatever piece of content I am attempting to do, be it a boss, be it simulated universe, be it Echo of War, basically anything. That is what Jing Yuan is there for. But one of the biggest enablers here is Asta, and I'm sure you've seen Asta just mainly using her ultimate, but occasionally putting in work beyond that. That ultimate is insanely important for Topaz and Numby, kicking them up in the turn order and allowing them to continue to act and continue to stack on the Deader debuff from that E1. But Asta also provides bonuses to the rest of the team beyond that. When it comes to Jing Yuan and Luocha, well, Jing Yuan likes the attack bonus that she gives because he's dealing damage, and Luocha likes the attack bonus because he is healing based off of his attack. So as long as you're making sure he's just beefy enough to not immediately get one-shotted, you're going to see Luocha putting in even higher healing just because of Asta's sheer presence. And my Asta is also all the way up to E5. I'm still waiting on that coveted E6 where she doesn't lose as many charge stacks every single turn, but between the energy regeneration rate increase she gets, between not losing charging stacks after losing her ultimate, dealing damage and additional time to enemies to get additional charging stacks, Asta is able to keep up that attack bonus to further enable Topaz as well as Jing Yuan's crits to force down the enemy and end encounters super fast, even if the opponents I am fighting are not necessarily weak to either of the things they are using. I'm sure everyone is wondering what relics I currently have, and if I don't have the best in slot, what the best in slot I would like to have. So to start with, I have Ash Blazing Grand Duke, 4 full pieces, as well as Inert Sal Soto on my Topaz and Numby. This ensures that we are able to get the additional critical damage follow-up attack bonus from Inert Sal Soto, and this also ensures that we get all the additional attack bonuses from those follow-up attacks to make our Numby even stronger. I was finally able to farm enough pieces to get my crit rate above the coveted percentage. It was below that for a while I was farming, and Inert Sal Soto was unfortunately worthless, but we've almost hit the point where everything is going to be great. And my Sal Soto's Moving City even has a fire damage boost equipped to it. So overall with this set, I'm pretty happy with what Topaz and Numby has, and this is probably what I'm going to stay with for the foreseeable future. For Jing Yuan, I've also, of course, got Inert Sal Soto to help with that follow-up damage bonus, as well as a full Band of Sizzling Thunder set. And he's got some decent bonuses here. He's got some solid attack bonuses, he's got his speed boots, so he's hitting the minimum requirement, and he's got some solid crit rates and stuff like that. If I could make a personal change on this, I would like to see that his leather jacket with studs gets swapped out for critical damage rather than attack. But I mean, I've had other things to prioritize in terms of farming, but that is going to have to be something I end up hitting later at some point. So Jing Yuan is ultimately able to deal more damage. I also need to sub out this Sal Soto's Moving City Sphere from attack over to lightning damage, and I probably want to get some energy regeneration rate on him too, because this is honestly a lot of attack. And that crit rate, 28%, could definitely be higher. Now when it comes to Asta's set, admittedly, all of this actually has to end up getting reworked. I do have Firesmith of Lava Forging on here. This is just sort of a stand-in piece. Overall, I need to get Thief of Shooting Meteor on her so she is able to benefit from those weakness breaks. So overall, this main equipment set here is actually kind of garbage, and I need to go ahead and get it changed out. But I'm trying to be honest with everyone, so showing you that I have a trash equipment set on my Asta is just a further step towards that honesty. However, Talia, Kingdom of Banditry, is overall the main set effect that you want on your Asta for the break effect bonus. This, of course, I'm going to stay with. This nails Swap Town is great, but I need to go ahead and get this electric wire changed out ultimately. And finally, we have my Luocha set here. I've got a full Musketeer on him, mainly for the speed boost. I like seeing the speed boost and being able to know that I'm able to heal my allies when things are starting to get rough. So that is my main focus beyond this. And then I've got a Fleet of the Ageless equipped on him. Again, this is a stand-in set for now. Ultimately, you want to try to get Sprightly Vonkwok on him so you can go ahead and get an energy regeneration rate boost as well as an action advancement immediately upon entering battle. So you don't really have to worry about a low speed requirement and you can kind of ditch some of this. Some people also like running outgoing healing on Luocha. I feel like his healing is good enough as it stands right now. I basically heal my allies completely to full and cleanse all their debuffs every single time either his emergency heal pops or a heal I use pops, but you can of course go ahead and build that to your leisure. And overall, gang, that's my first Star Rail team showcase. I'd like to thank you all for hanging out till the end of the video here. If you are using Topaz and Numby, let me know who you are pairing them with down in the comments section below. And if you have another character you'd like to request me to show on a team showcase, please let me know down in the comments. If I have them, I will likely consider using them in a future video, and I just want to have an opportunity to show off all of the wonderful characters in this game, because I feel not only through doing these videos will I possibly be able to help somebody if they were having team building issues, but on top of that, I might find some characters that I actually really end up using and enjoying that I wouldn't have used otherwise. So that's also another great thing that can come from this. As you head down the comment section, be sure to check out the Discord, the Patreon, and the Ko-fi. Huge thanks to everyone on all of those platforms, and a big thanks to all of you here on YouTube for your continued support. I really do appreciate it. Anyways, gang, that's it for me, Kawaii50. I hope you all have a phenomenal day, and I'll see you all in the next one.